but that's okay because I like doing reading from my car, and Spirit is still helping me manifest chairs for my table in the new apartment. But you know what? I love being able to say that. And you know what else I love? Even as imperfectly perfect as I am, I have so many people telling me that our story is inspiring, that, manifesting what we've manifested, going through what we've been through, that, like, it's amazing. And I'm like, you know what? It was definitely an adventure. It was a series of quests, unimaginable to many. And we made it. In any case, I've just been feeling like getting back on the airwaves. And Spirit has been giving me the most interesting message today. Well, I wouldn't say over the last week, but today in particular, there's been like this increase of what's called mashups. And the kids today are really enjoying like taking 2 to 3 different songs and mashing them together, like blending them. Like it's not even a mash, like when I think of a mash, I think of like either the Monster Mash or like mashed potatoes. But that's not really what a mashup is. Like a mashup is more like a smooth blending of things, right? But sometimes it can be quite a catastrophe, right? Like earlier today, my youngest and I, while driving to school, were listening to kind of, it wasn't a mashup of like different artists' songs, which is usually what I hear. It was a mashup of a bunch of Prince songs, and and it was kind of a juxtaposition of it, like one song, and then you could hear the other song starting in it, and it would blend together, and then it would go into the next song, and then keep doing that, and it was just like, I wasn't even really like in my mind was not on the twin flame journey in that moment. It was on just driving to school. And I was like, wow, this is actually matching with what I am seeing in the patterns and the cycles and the things going on. There's going to be like this, it's like a mashup meets a blending, like a juxtaposition, and also likely some pop quizzes, because we're in a space, and especially with the various places that the planets are in, it's kind of this like, we go through it every year, like multiple times a year, because like Saturn, Lord of Karma, likes to do that. But like there's many, many times we go through and we are brought back to the same place where we were before. Not the same place. We're brought back to an up level of a lesson that we previously learned. And it's part of it has to do with like, are we still calling in the same thing? Like, if you've had self-esteem issues for a long time and you notice that you're going through the same problems, the same issues with partners, the same issues with family, the same issues with this and that, it's because that's the lesson that you need to work on. And your heart and your mind and your soul keep calling out to the universe and like, why me? Why is this happening to me? Or where is love? Or why is love hard? Or what am I doing wrong? Things like that. When that comes in, Spirit keeps bringing you lessons to show you how, to love yourself. And so that keeps coming around. And especially with Mercury retrogrades, which once you learn how to utilize the Mercury retrograde, it's not that stops happening, but you can ride the waves a little bit better. And you can use Mercury retrograde as more of a sandbox to then reset to what you would consciously prefer to be working on, rather than necessarily just like repeating the cycles. I've been thinking about doing a video like that in probably in my members section. So if you get a chance to join it, that'd be awesome. Start filling that up with some fun stuff. I may or may not start using my other channel a little bit more too. I created a little while ago called Mama Bear Speaks. I might say a little bit more on there. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, no, it feels like the pop quizzes are related to like, okay, if like, again, if we take self-esteem stuff, right? If self-esteem was a big challenge for you and you spent a lot of time working on it, especially in your twin flame journey, and we're coming up to this next Mercury retrograde. We just had a hybrid eclipse in Aries. We've got all sorts of planets going into Aries and Cancer and Pisces and Aquarius, and just like they're in such an interesting alignment that it does very much feel like a mashup meets a blending meets a juxtaposition, right? Like it's not that it's entirely unusual. It actually kind of works together, just like the music and the mashups, but it's not what you were expecting, right? And it's not exactly, what's the word for it? Sometimes it's a pleasant surprise. Sometimes it's not awful, but it's too much. And other times it's like, okay, I mean, that worked, but I'm not really impressed, right? So this, what I'm kind of getting the sense of, at least for those of you who are watching or watch this later, that it's one of those, like, this is more of a waypoint than an ending point. I mean, there might be some people or things that are going to go in and out now, but I'm not really getting the sense that it's going to, that there's necessarily going to be anybody gone. So I suppose, like, for those of you that are like, well, what I'm going to say is this: if you're in a space where you're wishing for a karmic to go away, especially on like your DM or DF side, you're actually keeping them there. You should always be wishing them well, wishing them healing, wishing them wholeness, wishing them benevolent goodness, because one, it's hurt people who hurt people, and that ends up creating more pain for everyone, and they probably need that healing more so than the people that you feel like are more deserving of it. And two, you will get the karmic rebound effects of wishing ill on anyone, period. Like, just period. And I'm not saying never do it, and I'm not saying you should hold yourself to the perfect standard of never doing it. I'm just saying, when you do it, you got to own, well, that's why you got the stink eye from that person over there. That's why you got cut off when you were driving around. That's why things didn't quite go as smoothly for you as you would have liked when you made mistakes, right? Because you are also in a space of wishing ill on other people, right? So try to bring yourself back to that place of, be grateful for everyone in your life. They make the adventure more interesting, right? That's your quest for right now. I know there's some of you on here who are working on that. Anyways, so it feels like in this mashup, it's kind of like, I think it was a few years ago when this first came in, but it might have been a year ago. It's been almost 3 years on this channel. Woohoo. But I had started doing readings that they were the Karmic Carnival readings, right? And I think it was like the Karmic Chronicles and things like that. And if you go back through the videos, like at the time, it's like, going through a fun house at a carnival, right? Like, you get caught in the mirrors, and there's the weird moving bits, and there's just it's interesting to navigate. Well, it feels like now we're going more into this mashup, and like the image that comes to mind most is like being on a dance floor, and like, let's say like one of those, like a 90s movie or whatever, or even some of the 80s movies where you go onto the dance floor and you pick a partner and you're dancing with them, and then someone comes up behind you, taps you on the shoulder, they want to dance with you, and you go, okay, you dance with them, right? But then let's say that everybody wants to dance with you. You are just the star of the show, right? And old track. Anyways, you are the star of the show, and people keep wanting to dance with you, and you're okay going partner to partner, right? But let's say that they're getting upset with each other, right? And then two of them are bickering over there, and two are about to get in a fight over there, and then maybe they try to bring you in. Are you going to get involved in that over there or that over there? Are you, what role are you going to play on this dance floor as the music like blends and mashes up and does things like that, and there will be little pop quizzes, like somebody might come up to you and say something that in the past would have triggered you to like volcanic eruption levels, and like, are you going to go there? Or do you still feel the same? Does it still hurt you as much, right? And there might be other lessons that come up. Maybe it's interacting in some newer relationships to learn some new lessons. Maybe it's interacting in some older relationships to learn some lessons. Maybe it's relationships are no longer a lesson for you. Whatever it is, like, there are many things that, hang on a second. Anyways, maybe it's that you're going to go like work for someone that pushes your boundaries and things like that. Maybe, there are so many different things that it could be for you. If you'd like a private reading, I can help you uncover what those are, though in the end, you already kind of know, right? Or not kind of, you already know. So I have some things to do today, but I wanted to pull a card, and I'm going to be pulling from my Spirit Allies deck, which is a little bit newer for me, so we're going to learn together. I just wanted to pull a card for those of you that really feel called to this reading, this about the mashups, and I know it has to do with this Aries eclipse energy. And so, I mean, Aries eclipse is like, it's calling in the new beginnings, but it's also kind of an energy of like, I want to say almost like slowing down the new beginning energies. Like, so there's not so many, like kind of rebalancing that Fool card energy, you know, like, especially if you found that you've been going through a lot of new beginnings, like for a long time, you know, like, even my like journey of homelessness could be considered a lot of new beginnings all at once, right? Having to change where we sleep, having, you know, okay, we could stay here, we could stay there, we could do this, we could do that. And so maybe it's that energy of like, oh, interesting. 42 Moth, which is so very twin flamey, right? And look at this, isn't this a beautiful card? It's got two moths on it too. And like, no matter which way you look at it, looks pretty much upright, other than obviously the word would be in a different space. And the sun and the moon and the stars. It almost looks like, though, you know, it's interesting. It looks like they're over water, because I was going to say these look like clouds, but they also don't, right? It looks like they're over water, which would make sense to me. It's funny. Look what's underneath Libra. And the irony is a Libra just messaged me. But I'm going to look at this. 42, which would also be 6. So we've got some Gemini energy in there. The Lover's card. They say 42. The Moth. Embrace transformation. As its delicate wings take to the starlit skies like ribbons, the moth is a sight to behold. Like the butterfly, it too emerged from metamorphosis as a winged beauty. It flutters through the sky in magic and wonder. A period of great transformation is upon you. To reap its full benefits, you must be willing to embrace the darkness of an unknown and trust you'll come through the experience as an even more incredible version of yourself. Allow yourself to witness and appreciate how major changes provide deep clarity about who you truly are. While sudden shifts and adjustments may feel like you've been thrown off your path, have trust in the divine. You are exactly where you need to be. Any recent shift will only help to keep you moving forward. When one door closes, another door opens. Opportunities for growth are available to you in the now, right? And this one, and these cards come with a journal prompt. So here's your next quest, should you choose to accept it. Journal prompt. Where in my life could I benefit from surrendering to allowing change? Or to allow change, excuse me. Where in my life could I benefit from surrendering to allow change? Which is an interesting way to put that sentence together, right? It's probably extremely grammatically correct, though. How does it sound? Like, is it smooth? Do you understand it, right? Like what are the benefits to surrendering to change, right? Now I'm going to be thinking about that today. Comment below with what your thoughts are about that, and I will catch you in the next video.